questions. So without further ado, I wish to take this time to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we meet across the world today. And I'd like to also pay my respects to the elders past, present, and emerging. We have a great lineup of representatives from the universities as well as the stakeholders that are here with us today, as well as some of our scholars of the current past CR program that will be presenting. I will be sharing my presentation. Not sure if my presentation is visible. There is the confirmation. All right. Welcome again, everybody, to today's presentation.
No, why we cannot start our video? My video is not starting, I'm trying.
Just check that.
Have you closed from that side?
Yeah. Sorry, sir, because I'm actually turning mine on at the moment. Like I was saying, welcome again, everyone, to today's presentation. So the first line of a presentation that we have is from our donor, and I believe that Joy is still not here yet for today's presentation. Is that right?
Yes, sorry, Joe, she is unable to make it, but I can do that on her behalf.
Cool. Thank you so much, Ms. Naina. So we have a presentation slide here, a couple of presentation slides here from our donors. And on behalf of our donors, we have our comms, one member from our comms team here to present it for us. Her name is Ms. Naina Nandini, and I will hand this over to her now.
Hello everyone, my name is Naina and I'm the communications officer for ACI in the Pacific. And I'll talk about what ACI does and with Joe's presentation and some of the capacity building initiatives that we have. Thank you, Joe. So ACI is the Australian Centre for International Agricultural Research, and this is part of the Australian government focusing on reducing poverty, improving livelihoods in agriculture, forestry, and fisheries through research for development. Our Pacific program focuses on climate resilient livelihoods, stronger agribusiness development, biosecurity, soil, and land management. Teacher? So we work in 7 Pacific Island countries. Fiji, that's where we are based. And we are a team of 3 people. Mai Alakan, who is on leave, but she sends best wishes to anyone who's interested in participating in PASS. Vanuatu, Samoa, Solomon Islands, Tonga, Kiribati, and Tuvalu, and Papua New Guinea. But Papua New Guinea has an office based in Port Moresby. And we are a global program. We work across 29 countries, across Eastern, Southern Africa, East Asia, South and West Asia. Thank you, Joe. Here are some nice photos from our JDF, PASS alumni, and leadership training. Show next slide, please. It's all from us.
Thank you so much, Ms. Naina, for a lovely presentation and for informing us of the work that ACI has here in the Pacific. We will pass the presentation, the platform now to our colleagues from FNU, from the Fiji National University, and representing the Fiji National University together here with us today, we have Professor Paul Ichi, who is the acting PVCR and I for the university, as well as Dr. Archibald Bakare. I will invite them now to do their presentation.
Hello, Binaka from Fiji National University, wherever you are connected to us from. I'm the acting Pro-Vice Chancellor, Research and Innovation of the Fiji National University. So in that capacity, I oversee the awards here at FAU. And although most of them are held at the College of Agriculture, Fisheries and Forestry, as you would have seen from the list of projects that were forwarded with the awards or advertisements from the ACR, you can definitely apply for to work from other colleges as long as they are relevant to the ACR scope and context. But I would like to assure you of my support from FAU if you do join us, because we have the widest range of disciplines and sub-disciplines from which you can choose. And we have a great support, especially at the College of Agriculture, Fisheries and Forestry, in terms of capable supervisors. We probably would be the best to consider within the region, but we are not in a beauty context. So you can feel free, look at the courses, look at the topics, contact your potential supervisors, and then apply. And then we will give you all the support you need during the application, enrollment, and while you are studying here with us. On that note, I will hand over to our postgraduate coordinator, Dr. Archibald Bakari, to just give you a short briefing on what is done here at Fiji National University, Pinnacle.
Okay, thank you, Professor. And Joe, can you also share my presentation? So my name is Dr. Archibald Bakari, and I'm an animal scientist. And I'm also working with Pooja Devi. She's not joining us today, but I'll start probably by sort of like telling you more about FNU. So FNU is more committed to research as one of its missions, and tries to address the issues pertinent to national development. And we try by all means to partner with government ministries, especially Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Forestry, and also other stakeholders. So when it comes to research, student research, specifically master's research, and also PhD research, we expect it to anchor the university research. And we are really thankful to ACAR for sponsoring or for supporting our students to do research in the field of agriculture, climate change, agribusiness, and also veterinary science. So I'll start probably by going through some of the programs that we're offering at FNU. We've got two programs that we offer. We've got higher degrees by research. For higher degrees by research, we've got master's, higher degrees by research, and we've got PhD, PhD by higher degrees by research. For master's by research, for you to be eligible to admitted into the program, you must have a GPA of 3.25 at postgraduate, like postgraduate diploma, GPA of 3.25. Then for BSc, you're supposed to have a GPA of 3.5 and above. So once you're enrolled into the program, we expect you to present your proposal within the first 8 months after enrolling into the program. Then maybe completion seminar in 18 months, then we expect you to submit your thesis probably at 24 months, because this is a 2-year program. Then for PhD and higher degrees by research, we expect the students, for you to be eligible for admission into the program, you must have a GPA of 3.0 and above. And we are supposed to do courses in the first year. Then in second year, we are supposed to do 1-year research. Then for you for your proposal, you are supposed also to present your proposal within the first 8 months after enrolling into the program. Always encourage all the students, even those students who are doing coursework, to also start developing their program in the first year. So we expect them to present within the first 8 months after enrolling into the program. Then we expect you also to submit your thesis after 24 months. And I think that's it. Those are the two programs that we offer. We've got PhD and master's and higher degrees by research, and we've got master's coursework with a component of research, which is first year you do courses, approximately six courses, 3 in first semester and 3 in second semester. Then in second year, it's research for the whole year. But you start developing your proposal in the first year. And if you've got any questions, feel free to contact me at FNU and also research office. I think that's it from my end.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bakari, for such an informative presentation, as well as to the Professor Paul Ichi. Thank you so much, Team FNU, for your presentation. Moving on with today's presentation, we have a team from USP that will be doing a presentation. Also, on behalf of the USP, we have Professor Sushil Kumar, who is the Director of Research, together with Professor Surendra Prasad, who is the head of one of our schools, that is Sagents. We also have Dr. Abdul Kadar, who is also the discipline coordinator. So I'd like to request Professor Surendra for his presentation.
Okay, can you share from there the presentation?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good morning and Gula Vinaka to you all. And of course, I am Professor Surendra Prasad, head of the School of Agriculture, Geography, Environment, Ocean and Natural Sciences. In short, we call SAGENS. And welcome especially to our potential research scholars in this question answer session. Next slide, please. This program about which we are talking is basically the USP has been facilitating this program of the ACIR scholarship since 2008, and it is still continuing today. And previously, this program was based under the faculty when we were in the faculty system till 31st of December 2020, and it was under the Faculty of Science, Technology and Environment. In short, we call FSTE. And from 1st January, and now it is based on basically at the research office, USP Research Office, that is Central Research Office. Of course, we have the research office also at the different schools. And from 1st January 2021, we have come into the school system, and then we have 6 different schools. So majorly this program is based under the one of the school that is called SAGENS, but which I have been heading. And so ACIR PASS program basically started in July 2020, and then a scholarship is housed at the USP Research Office under the supervision of Research Director and on behalf of the Vice Chancellor or Deputy Vice Chancellor, Research and Innovation. So next slide, please. We offer both master, especially master by research only, not by coursework. So there should not be any confusion to the potential students that we will be giving any master by coursework. So anyone registering for this will be registered for this course, will be given, will have to do a master thesis, means master by research. And also we have been offering that a scholarship, PhD scholarship, and USP in the focus area. We have some certain focus area, especially, and that has also been requested by ACIR, the focus area, and that's the soil fertility, integrated management of water resources, wastewater, etc. Of course, we have also gender equality, women and with engagement in the Pacific agriculture, especially this is also encouraged by USP, and of course this is also encouraged by these 2 points what I am telling and presenting here is soil fertility and gender equality is also promoted by ACIR, and that's one of the agenda as I guess. Also, the third is food system and adaptation to climate change. Mainly the scholarships are students will be based at the Ladala campus or at Samoa campus, mainly in the school, and that's my school, that is the School of Agriculture, Geography, Environment, Ocean and Natural Sciences. However, there are some other, of course, within that school, we have the different discipline, and this school constitutes of 4 different disciplines. In addition, we have 3 different institutes in this school, that is Institute of Applied Science, then Institute of Marine Resources, and then School of Center for Agriculture, Extension and Research, that is based on, that is in short we call CARE, and which is based in our Samoa campus, and it is looked at by the head of his school. We have another discipline here, the discipline of marine study, that formerly those were all schools. There's School of Marine Study, School of Agriculture and Food Technology, and of course, School of Biological and Chemical Sciences, and School of Geography, Earth Science and Environment. Now, all those schools, after the restructuring from 1st January 2021, they have become the discipline. So simply, school name are removed, and then now one big school which used to be like faculty. So school is like present school, which is Sejong, is like a faculty, but we now know faculty system, and all schools are headed by head of school, and then we have 2 deputy head of school, deputy head research and international and graduate affairs, and of course research and deputy head learning, teaching and quality. So this is the school administration. School also has our research section, and that is the research office, which is basically headed by our deputy head research, international innovation and international, and graduate affairs. So I will like to welcome any question that you will have in mind of the potential students. We will be extremely happy to answer. We strictly follow our rules and regulations according to the policy as per USP for all admissions, etc. So those policies I do not want to give right now in time constraint. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Professor Surendra, for an insightful discussion with regards to how the scholarship is housed here at the University of the South Pacific. Our next presenter is from one of our colleagues that's based at the University of Sunshine Coast in Australia. Her name is Dr. Linda West, and she is the current program coordinator for the past year program. So I will invite Dr. Linda for her to present her slides.
Thank you very much, Joe. Good morning, everyone. As Joe said, my name is Linda West, and I'm the program coordinator for the academic support program that is also a part of this scholarship. Joe, could you put my next slide or the next slide too? So as Joe said, I'm from the University of the Sunshine Coast, and that's in Queensland in Australia. I am a member of the Australian Centre for Pacific Islands Research. It's a multidisciplinary centre. We have primary production, climate change, horticulture, aquaculture, and social science studies as part of the centre. Could you put my next slide up, please, Joe? So the PASCR program, which has been outlined beautifully by Fiji National University and the University of the South Pacific, it's not just a scholarship program. There is also additional support provided by the partner university, University of the Sunshine Coast. So what does that involve? All scholars in the program are members of the Australian Centre for Pacific Islands Research, and also have access to academic journals at the University of the Sunshine Coast Library. The email account and affiliate account that scholars have access to also provides access to additional software for statistical analysis, and also provides access to some eGrad school modules through Queensland University of Technology. I'm also involved in the monthly progress meetings that scholars have with either the ACR graduate officer at FNU or USP, and that's an opportunity to check in with scholars on how they're progressing, but also for additional support. We also have an inter-university seminar series where scholars present their research within the scholar group, so presenting to peers, but also to supervisors and interested parties who want to join those. It's a fantastic, friendly opportunity for scholars to present their research progress, and it's a really supportive environment where students share success. We also have research skills development workshops. This is really important for scholars to have access at both USP, FNU, but also additional support through University of the Sunshine Coast on research skills such as ethics, developing your research proposal, etc. As I said before, there's also access to academic journals at the University of the Sunshine Coast Library, but also access to our fantastic liaison librarians who are very keen to support Pacific scholars on one-on-one sessions, if necessary, on how to guide you through the library, and also how to conduct your literature review, how to do searches, etc. How to use EndNote, although the fantastic librarians at USP and FNU also provide those sessions too. One of the really fantastic initiatives in the academic support program is the Job Ready program. This is where scholars have support with career development and networking opportunities. Scholars can nominate an organization that they would like to do a short targeted placement with, and then we will facilitate that placement opportunity. I think to date, all students have shown willingness to participate in the program, and many students have gone on to do more than one placement with an organization. It's an opportunity to find out what an organization is like, and to develop those networks for future career opportunities, but also provides an opportunity to get some hands-on training or some shadowing with staff in the organization as well. And my next slide has some beautiful photographs of the scholars and team members in the program from various opportunities in Samoa and in Fiji. Thank you very much, everyone, and looking forward to see who the scholars are for the next round. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lena, for that lovely presentation.
Thank you.
It was really nice to see some pictures. Moving on for today, from today's presentation, we will move to let you all know of some of the experiences that our current scholars underwent when they first came through this process of applying to for the scholarship, as well as their journey throughout up until today. So first up in today's presentation, for the student experience, we have Ms. Lekita Naituku, who is a PhD scholar here at the University of South Pacific, currently in her third year. So I'll invite Ms. Lekita for her to present her presentation.
Thank you, Joe, for the lovely introduction. Hello, everyone.
Sorry, can you speak up a little bit, please?
You can hear me now?
I'm sorry, no.
Sorry about it. Can you hear me now?
Sorry, no. It's almost like you're whispering, like, my apologies.
Beloved everyone. I had to remove my earpiece, sorry. So a very good morning to everyone joining in. Like Joe said, my name is Lekita, and I'm one of the PhD scholars here at USP. So can you share the next slide, please? Okay, so I am from the 2021 PAS-CR program cohort. So this is hopefully my final semester here at USP, but throughout my higher degree journey, I have been with ASIA from my postgraduate studies, postgraduate diploma, and then I went on to my master's, all sponsored by ASIA. So I am thankful for ASIA for bringing me this far, and now I'm in my final semester of my PhD study. So I have been with ASIA for this long. My area of research is on pest of horticultural crops, with the main pest of interest is broad mites on capsicum. Next slide, please, Joe. Okay, so from my application experience, when I found out about the scholarship for my master's program and a postgrad, it was through the Fiji Sun newspaper. So like now things have changed. We have social media platforms that we can learn about the program now. So I think these new cohorts, they are very fortunate to have these Q&A sessions, which I did not have during my time. Yeah? So there has been a lot of changes, and my advice to the students is make use of these Q&A sessions that you have to get as much information as you can from this application process. For me, choosing the area of interest, it was a topic that is of relevance to the country, and something that I am passionate about. Coming from a teaching background, when I initially applied to do my master's by research, I had no idea on what to do, but I was thankful that the people I emailed were helpful, and they were able to help me pick the right topic that is also within my interest. And why I'm saying field of interest, because I think if you have something that you are passionate about, because trust me, there'll be a lot of things that might drag you down along the way. There'll be a lot of setbacks, but if you have a passion for that, then it will take you a long way. For the potential supervisors, my advice is to contact them early, because they are busy people, they have other things to do. Don't wait until, let's say, just a week or so left and you try to contact them. There will not be enough time for that. And don't be afraid to reach out. In my experience, when I initially applied for my PhD studies, I had actually two fields that I was interested in, and I had applied for one field, and then the feedback was negative, but that didn't slow me down. And fortunately enough, I had contacts with Professor Mike, so he was able to help me through with my application. So don't be afraid to reach out to those around you. Yeah? And another thing is about the application process. In my experience, it is well designed and easy to follow. So, but I know there have been cases where we don't actually follow the instructions, and we don't do what is there. So if you have information there and things that you need to collate, do that. Get all your relevant information. If it says two recent references, get the most recent ones. Don't get one from 5 years or 6 years ago. So those are just some of my application experience that I have. Next slide, Joe. Okay, so my current status into the program, I am now, like I'm saying, I'm almost completed with my bench work. So hopefully I'll be able to complete by this year, God willing. Okay, so apart from that, we have, like what Dr. Linda had said, they have workshops that are organized by USP and USC on how to improve our academic research skills, the other softwares that are there, and also to build our research profile. And these are just some of the things that we were able to have apart from our studies. And the support programs that we have our monthly meetings with our supervisors, which we did not have previously, might I say. So these are really good because we are able to keep a track on what we do, and the supervisors can always come back to us and ask on our progress. Also with the workshops and seminars, like what Dr. Linda had said, in the university seminars, I think this is really good because it helps students to to share your research with those around you. So we also have the work placement. For my case, I chose an area of interest which is on plant protection. So I started mine at the Koroniva Research Station, plant protection section. And with that, I was able to develop my networks and begin with my bench work then, even though my proposal wasn't approved at the time. So this is also part of your networking. And another thing that this program allows is for you have an opportunity to also to attend conferences. And in my case, I had attended 2. So yeah, you have a lot of opportunities. I'm not trying to be biased, but I think this scholarship has a lot of opportunities that others will not have. Nakajo, next slide. Okay, so these are just some of the pictures of the things that I was able to do while on this program study from art training workshops to the work placement opportunity. And what I wanted to say is, like, with the work placement, I was able to have additional trainings on microbiology, which I had no background in. So this is one of the opportunities that we have. And the second one is on the Future Thinkers program, which I was fortunate to be one of the 3 recipients of that program that has also helped us develop our research and management skills. And of course, the presentation at the conferences. Nakajo, next slide. My take-home message is this is a prestigious scholarship, and we've heard so many times, we are a family. So once you finish your studies, you will still, they won't leave you. You will still be part of the alumni program. So there's a lot of opportunities there. And I believe that our research is relevant, that it helps us in the local context. So we know that whatever we do will have an impact in our community and with those around us. And also there's opportunities for networking and collaboration. Next slide, Joe. So yeah, I think that's all from me. Thank you, Thomas. And this is a picture of the beautiful ladies from the past year program at UST with our graduate officer, Naka.
Thank you so much, Lei, for that interesting presentation, I would say. Moving on, speaking on behalf of FNU, we have one of our current master's scholar. Her name is Miss Sumilesh Paul. I would like to invite her now to talk on her experience with regards to the application process, as well as her current journey.
Hi, Joe. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can clearly hear you, Sumilesh.
Okay. Hello, everybody. First thing I'd like to do is apologize. I was told not to prepare any of the presentations. Otherwise, I would have prepared a PowerPoint presentation. So sorry about that. So I'll just speak out about my experiences. I think everybody has said most of the things around the serious part of how to apply, what to do, about how to go ahead and find supervisors and do other stuff. So I'll just dive into my experience. So my name is Sumilesh Pal, and I'm currently completing my master's degree from Fiji National University. I'm one of the pioneer students at FNU to receive ACIR scholarship, which was back in 2021. I was fortunate enough to have been awarded this scholarship. Before signing the contract with ACIR, I was very fearful, full of anxiety and doubt as to how will I be able to complete my master's degree. As most of the students listening to me right now would be thinking the same. And I was also worried because this is an Australian scholarship and not a local one. The first thing that came into my mind was how would I be accepted by the team, and whether there will be any significant support provided by them. Even though having these fears, I accepted the scholarship and my journey with FNU and ACIR started. So once the students were finalized from both USP and FNU during my first year, Dr. Linda and Tash from past CR team arranged a trip to Fiji after the lockdowns were lifted to meet the students face to face. This was the most important face-to-face interaction for students, and it felt like we had become a family. The students had to record their videos with Tash in order to have our research information available online. This was a fun and entertaining task altogether. Apart from this, there has been series of educational seminars provided by ACIR team being made available online for students to attend, the online trainings of different required software such as SPSS, EndNote, and also about how to write proposals, how to write theses, how to do presentations, and how to prepare 3-minute presentation videos of yourself were provided, assistance were provided. So the support by ACIR and the team has been highly appreciated and very vital to the research. As for me, during my first year of study, there was a second wave of COVID and we were faced with lockdowns. Due to this, my candidature confirmation and sample collections were delayed. But despite of this, there were monthly meetings online and other classes still going on. Another challenge I would say I faced with FNU was because we were the first to receive ACIR scholarship, so FNU was still building their procedures of how to handle the fundings, research fundings to the students. So they had quite complicated procedures of handing out the research funds to the students, and the process took very long for the funds to be released, where most of the times date arranged to collect samples were missed out. These concerns were raised with FNU team, with the Dr. Bakare and research office, the supervisors and the ICIR team. And from the following year, things started to get a lot easier and student friendly. So now there is no hassle on getting the funds to go out and do our data collections. So this shows that when the student faces any challenges, the FNU team, ACIR, I'm sure USP is also there. So USP, ACIR, and PASIA team are always ready to work together and solve issues as soon as possible. Due to COVID lockdowns and not being able to go out and collect data on time, I was also awarded an extension for my scholarship. Yes, there is also an option where in genuine cases, students are granted extensions. This allowed me time to work on collecting and analyzing the data. The ACIR scholarship does not only focus on achieving academic goals, they want their students to also socialize and network with ACIR alumni and other experts. Just this year, we had an event in Denarau Nandi where USP and FNU students met and mingled with ACIR alumni and other important people and had a lot of fun together. Just before I finish, ACIR also allows students to attend international conference and also to present their research in front of hundreds of international experts. In June this year, I went to Darwin, Australia to do a presentation on my research topic as part of World Aquaculture Conference. And there are many of my colleagues who have also traveled overseas to attend such events. At the end of these events, students are awarded certificates for taking part in presenting or just attending the conference. During these events, we have a chance to meet a lot of professors, doctors, and industrial specialists, where we get to network with them and find out more about the opportunities that are available around the world in the field of our studies. There is another conference in Fiji on the 11th of August, which is Oceania Foods Conference, and where I will be presenting a poster. And I'm also looking forward to attending another international conference in the early future. With this, I would like to say that being awarded ACIR scholarship and being part of this team is amazing. And it is very different from our school systems over here. They don't just expect us to study 100% of the time. They provide us with freedom to open up, speak out, and not be afraid of asking questions when in doubt. They want us to find out our potential and excel in every part of student and research life. So finally, my advice to all the students who are interested and are awarded this scholarship is for you to learn, grow, innovate, make friends and meet people, but most importantly, come out of that shell of yours, expand your comfort zone, ask questions. If you face any challenges, put them out in front of your team, but don't forget to enjoy your journey with ACIR and its team. They are one of the best people I have met. So thank you. I hope that was it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sumilesh, for that lovely experience that you've had in the past program. I'm sure all the other scholars can echo the same sentiments. We move on with our presentation slide. I know that we've been talking too much and everybody has a lot of questions they would like answered. So I will try and keep this next presentation very short. So I'll just be presenting on the application process for this next round for the two universities. As I've mentioned before, my name is Joshua Tadawai, and I'm the current ACIR graduate officer based at the University of South Pacific's Research Office. So this is a flowchart that I have before you. So this is the steps on the application process for this next round. So the first thing that we would require every eligible interested applicant is for you to first identify and check your eligibility. This can be done by contacting the Dr. Bakare and Ms. Puja at FNU. And for USP, if you're planning to apply for USP, you can drop me an email and I can get that answer for you. The next step after that would be for you to contact the relevant supervisors that are enlisted in the project lists. We'll have that on the website, which we will be showing you shortly. We have we have Zoom sessions that we also have provided. More information on that can be provided. They are on all our websites for all the partners, for USC, FNU, as well as USP and ACIR. Once you've identified your research topics, you can contact the ACIR co-supervisors and the principal supervisors from the universities. You can then develop your research intent and fill in the application form upon which you are expected to submit back to the universities through the by email rather to each one of them. My next slide, which is also the last one, this is just for key forms information. You can view them through the university websites where the scholarships are. Let me just see if this is working. So for FNU, under financial support, we have the Pacific Agriculture Scholarship. So this is the ACIR PASCO scholarship. So it tells you when the applications are open and closed. We have all the relevant information, which includes eligibility for both coursework and for for PhDs, scholarship conditions and application process. We have clickable links, which will lead you to project the forms that is required for you to submit as well, and the selection process, and as well as the upcoming Zoom Q&A sessions for this next round. The same can be done for USP. So let me just click on that. For USP, we have the same information that's outlined there. And you can go through the list that we have provided, and you can identify which topics you are interested in applying for, and you can submit your applications. I know that we've been talking for too long, and now we've come to the most important part of today's presentation and program, that is to answer questions. Please feel free to raise your hands if you have any questions, or if you're shy to ask the questions, you can please drop in your questions in the chat box. We will go through them and ask the representatives from both universities as well as our partners for them to cater to your questions. So without further ado, I will stop sharing my screen now, and looking forward to diverting your questions to the relevant people that are present here today for them to answer. I see a hand raised up. Miri, would you like to ask your question?
Question.
Yeah, go ahead,
My
Miri.
question is, do you also sponsor if your GPA is less than 3.5 or 3?
Would you like to state which university you are wishing to apply to, so we can direct the question to them?
I would like to apply at FNU.
Yeah, I think.
Agriculture?
Sorry, did I hear that right? Did you say FNU?
Yes, sir.
Right. Thank you so much for the question. I'll ask either Dr. Bakare or Professor Paul Ichi for them to answer your questions.
Thank you.
Sorry, Mary, can your audio was a bit low. Can you repeat the question? Bakare, did you get it?
I think she was talking about sponsorship for spouse. Yeah?
Sorry, I think the
I think the
question
question was
was about the GPA.
GPA, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, GPA for masters, we've got two programs. We've got higher degrees by research, and we've got master's degrees coursework with a component of research. So if you want to do masters by research and higher degrees by research program, you're supposed to have a GPA of 3.5 if you've got a BSc degree. But if you've got a postgraduate diploma, you're supposed to have a GPA of 3.5, 3.25 and above. And if you want to do master's coursework and with a component of research, you're supposed to have a GPA of 3.0 and above. But if you want to do research, PhD, you're supposed to have a GPA of 4 and above. And you're also supposed to have done like a master's by research for you to be eligible for admissions into the program.
Yeah, if I may just add for the benefits of other candidates who may have similar questions or something in mind. We have these two master's programs you are hearing. There is master's by coursework and master's by research. The difference is that master's by coursework requires you to do your coursework within the first year. And then in the second year, you focus entirely on your research. You would realistically start your research in the first year. So you are not just going to sit there and wait, but you will start the bit of the research while you are waiting to complete your coursework qualifications. And the coursework courses that we offer will be high level, 800 level courses that will go into the details of agriculture or forestry or whichever area you choose to do your master's in. Whereas for the research master's takes you straight into your research. You could do some of the courses that are given to coursework students, but you will not be assessed on those courses. So I hope that would help some of you who are thinking what the differences are. So it's a coursework is 50% courses and 50% research. And you'll be eligible for enrollment into PhD programs in most parts of the world thereafter, after you graduate.
Thank you so much, Professor Paul and Dr. Archibald Bakare. Does that answer your question, Miri? I think the internet connection must have dropped. But we have a question on the chat group. And it's from Salanieta Sao. It's directed to USP, which says, can you please elaborate more on the GPA? I'd like to ask Professor Surendra Prasad if he can answer this, please. Professor Prasad?
Yeah. Is it in chat, this question?
Yes, sir. It's in the chat.
Okay.
It just says, can you please elaborate more on the GPA?
Oh, okay. Okay, so actually it depends whether we are admitting directly and for the master. If we are giving the scholarship to do the coursework first, like postgraduate diploma, and then followed by that a master, then we consider the GPA of 200 and 300 level courses, and that should be 3 at least. Then we allow directly to go for postgraduate diploma and then followed by master. Once postgraduate diploma is completed, then but postgraduate diploma also, they have to have the GPA achieved 3.5 to get into the master. If the GPA is less, we will not allow. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Salasini, does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Salasini. We have a hand raised, Ms. Alumita. The floor is yours.
Bula Mulubinaka, thank you for the presentations. I have 2 questions, and I would like to direct this question to the USP team. First is in terms of eligibility. Apart from GPA, what is in terms of honors? What is the equivalent to honors in terms of GPA? Sorry, because I noticed in your eligibility it's on GPA, because the university I attended, they dealt with honors.
Let me clarify, because in this part of the world there has not been any honors degree, but there are many universities which offers honors degree from, like we are getting a lot of scholarship from especially the African countries and even in India, but mainly we are getting especially for SU Commonwealth University. So they have honors degree, and then in honors degree that we give some preference to them. That's what it means.
I see.
But
Thank you.
Here we have not been offering any honors degree.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Because from the university I attended, we were not given GPH, but we were given honors as part of the
GPA at
grading.
all.
Yeah.
So in that no honors, what I want to say, that honors is another is slightly higher, we can take it, but it is given like many of the Australian university giving honors degree, and during that time the students will have to generate a mini thesis, etc. thesis. But I am not sure whether they are given GPA, but when we are receiving the applications from African university, I have seen that they have been given their marks and GPA. So if it is not given, then in that case we will have to get clarification from the university concerned who has allocated honors degree without GPA. So in that case, there has to be some a standard that honors with first class, honors with second class, something like that. So they have been given honors with the first class, honors with second class, etc.
Okay. So that's I just wanted to clarify that, because of Australian university, they give honors in terms of grading, not on GPA. Also, my second question is, I've looked at the research project alignment type topics, and I just have a question in terms of, are those other topics that are being provided for studies, or is it like a guideline topics?
They are a kind of guideline. Actually, what happened is all the projects, what is mentioned there is a part of the main project, main ACIR project, whose principal coordinator or whose course, say the project coordinators are either in Australia or some other countries, etc. So those topics are given a probable topic, But that
Right.
maybe some modification is possible in consultation with the main project supervisor, and of course, in consultation with the principal supervisor from USP, or you can say the FNU you will be selecting. So there may be some room to make modification. It's not the hard and fast that the title given, but one has to apply within selecting the title, and it may be slight variation.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Those are my two questions. Sorry, the other question is for Joe. In terms of you mentioning in the flowchart the eligibility process, just the process on the applications. So in terms of eligibility, how do we get this around? Do we email you, or how do we check on our eligibility before we go further with the application?
Thank you. So it really depends on which university you're planning to pursue your higher degree in. So if you plan to do your master's or PhD with FNU, then the person you need to contact to verify whether you're eligible or not would be Dr. Archibald Bakare or Madam or Miss Puja. She is not here today due to some commitments. But yeah, those are the two that you need to send your emails to. If it's for USP, then you need to send me an email requesting clarification on whether you're eligible to apply. If you are a current master's or current USP student, or have been a USP student, then I would need just your student ID, just so that I can access your documents online and get verification on whether you're eligible back to you. If you are from a university that's outside of USP, then I would need for you to send me your transcripts so that I can send it to our student academic services to verify whether you're eligible to apply. Hope that answers your question.
Yes, thank you. I'll do that. Thanks, Joe.
Oh,
Thank
good.
you.
Now, was any other questions from members that are present here? Well, if no one wants to raise their hands, our chat box is flooded with messages, so I'm just going to continue to read them out one by one. This question is directed to Dr. Archibald and Professor Ichi. It's a question from Simon, and it's a two-part question. So the first one says, for this reapplying, would it be possible for us to request the assessment scores from our previous application, that is the 2023 application? Thought this feedback might help us to identify areas we need to improve on for our next application.
I think I can give an answer to that. We generally provide guidelines to unsuccessful candidates for each round. We may not be able to go to all the details about how you rank with other candidates, but we are facing a situation where, for example, at FNU, we may be offering about 6 to 10 awards in a year. So you would realize that the competition is quite stiff, very, very stiff. And so I'm looking at the numbers I can see on the screen. We have 2 pages, I think. It's quite a sizable number. So even if it's likely you are all showing interest because you have met the minimum requirement to come into either USP or to FNU. But the reality is that we are limited by funds. So we are not able to give everyone an award. We would like to, but there is no chance in anybody doing that, not even Australia. So sometimes after all the rankings, you would find that you may just be hanging somewhere on the border. But that just excludes you because somebody or a few people are right above you. This is what precludes some of you from getting the awards. And it is very difficult for us to even give out to pass that sad news to you that you are not successful, even though you do meet the minimum requirements. And somewhere you may even actually be somewhere very, very close to the top of the ranking. But they would just be 5 candidates that are slightly better than you, not necessarily. So it's not a case of, oh, I am so bad that I wasn't considered. I can assure you that that is not the situation. Most candidates that apply are good and would be eligible for to do postgraduate studies elsewhere. So for us, we're grateful to the ACIR. We have these scholarships. We have the FAU scholarship awards, which are about 10 or thereabout in a year. So you can try your hands on different scholarships if you are not able to support yourself. I do realize that postgraduate studies are the cheapest, are so cheap here in the South Pacific for reasons of family economics and all that. Because if you were to go and do a master's or PhD in Australia or New Zealand without a scholarship, the fees are quite high. So we would like to support everyone, but if you are not given an offer, yeah, please, we are ready to give you some advice on your application, which may not necessarily be that you need to maybe reapply or resubmit, but it may just be a matter of do masters first, then come for PhD. If you were aiming for PhD, but you couldn't come in. But basically, we will not carry over your application from a previous round to this round. I don't think ACR accepts that. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Paul. I hope that answers your question, Chris. We have another question that's here that's directed to USP, and I would like to ask Professor Surendra if he can answer this again. So the question is, I have a GPA of 3.25 in my bachelor's and 3.5 in my postgraduate. Any chance of my application getting accepted?
We will check. We will check the courses he had done, and based on that, we will make the decision.
Thank you, Professor Surendra. We have another question. It's directed to FNU. It seems to be a lot of questions. It's so cool. So the question reads, Bolovinaka, for the GPA requirement, can work experience substitute for that if so, how many years? Let me just repeat the question. Sorry for that. For the GPA requirement, can work experience be a substitute for that? And if so, how many years? Over to you, Professor Ichi. And
no, at least I can say that we have not been replacing that GPA requirement work, especially in this case, a scholarship case. No.
Thank you, sir. Professor Ichi and Dr. Bakari?
Generally, we don't do that. We don't use work experience to replace GPA for the scholarship, but we use work experience to replace or to aid your chances of being enrolled. That is gaining a place if you are a private student or you have come in with another scholarship other than the ACIR. For the ACIR, we don't use work experience or research experience to replace GPA. And I think I've seen a question on GPA, have someone having, I think it's Salamieta, GPA of 3.25 in the bachelor and 3.5 in PGD. Yeah, this is exactly what I was referring to. If your bachelor GPA was not good enough to maybe earn you a position for PhD, which we do have, if you have the first class, for example, you can enroll directly for PhD. But if you didn't have that, and then you did your PGD and ended with a higher GPA of 3.5, that just improves your chances of getting a scholarship. Even if it is not ACR, it would be another scholarship. It helps you in getting admission for PhD, but it will also help you in securing admission for masters, definitely. So that is one way to improve your chances of getting a scholarship or admission.
Thank you, Professor Paul. Does that
And
answer your questions?
Joseph, I just to guide, I think this would go for both USP and FNU. How can we choose our supervisors?
Yeah.
But if you don't have the email address of the potential supervisor, simply send your inquiry to Joe at USP or Bakare at FNU or Pooja, and we will share we know who we would immediately know who will be most capable or most suitable for your topic. So that is the best way to do it, is to contact the ACR reps in these two universities. Then we will nominate a supervisor for you, and you can continue with your discussion independently, or you can keep them out on the side too, or join the conversation with the ACR reps in these two universities. They will be able to keep talking with the co-supervisor with you to arrive at suitable arrangements.
Another point is to again, thank you, Professor Paul, for highlighting this one. And I see that the students have already questioned that you picked up. Also, there is a possibility that a student can ask, and potential students can ask the list of the projects which Joe has. And in that list of the projects, and especially in the Excel sheet, potential supervisors' names are already given.
They are there.
In all the projects. So you will be able to know if you are choosing any of the project, you will already have the potential supervisor. Maybe 1 or 2 or 3 potential supervisors are written for some of the projects. So that's very easy. Just write a mail. Joe will give you the Excel sheet or provide you the name of the supervisor with contact, etc.
Thank you, Professor Paul Ichi and Professor Surendra. Just to share more on what the two professors were talking about in terms of the list of supervisors, I'm just going to share my screen once more to the list of topics. For FNU, this is the list of topics that we're offering on FNU. So everything is divided into themes. You have the program that the scholarship or this research topic is vying for. So the program is PhD, a possible research topic, the list of ACR supervisors, and the FNU supervisors on the side. And it also tells you the fieldwork and location of that specific research. For USP, the same thing happens to USP with the same format. And for more information, you can visit that on the 2 websites that we've showed before. Now back to the questions. Anyone else wants to ask questions before I turn it back to the chat group? None? Okay, there's another question that I have here, which is very interesting. It's directed to Professor Surendra Prasad. The question reads, I applied for PhD in biology in 2018 and I received an offer letter. Due to personal issues coming from family, I did not start my PhD journey. At that stage, I did not apply for the scholarship either. This year, I want to apply for a scholarship. However, my GPA in Masters is 8.36 out of 10. I have completed my Masters of Agriculture Science from Animalia University, Tamil Nadu in India. The question is, am I eligible to apply for the scholarship for a PhD program in biology?
In the chat box?
Yes, sir.
Which question?
Sorry, it was direct. They just placed it to me saying that it's directed to USP. Let me just put that in the general.
Okay, yeah, just if you can put that question. Yeah, I got it. Yes, there is no problem. The candidate can still apply for the scholarship in this case, and we will check what happened in this case. The GPA, which candidate has got 8.36 out of 10. Many times, because I myself is from India, so I know there may not be the thesis, master by thesis. I believe that the student might have completed this master by coursework. In that case, if we are selecting, we will give 6 month chance to have a DRP complete before this one. So that's one of the possibility we can, but there is no harm in applying. First, one has to get selected and then we decision. Or at the time of application, if you will see the transcript, we will be able to give the judgment. Looking at the transcript, whether the candidate has undergone a master through thesis or just by coursework. If master by coursework, then we have the possibility to always give a DRP for that to become the eligible for PhD. These are things I will tell right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Head of School. Just a follow-up question, just a follow-up to that answer of yours. Mr. Ram has added another question saying, I mean, he's added another statement that says he did his thesis with coursework.
Oh, so coursework, I don't think we are considering for coursework. Even recently, we selected all NPOC students. So anyone who did the coursework, we didn't accept it, because unless the ACIR will agree to give a scholarship for 1 semester or 2 semester additional to do DRP. But we have not considered for the coursework. Anyone of the students, even NPOC, our scholarship, we have 24 scholarship for NPOC from the University of Bergen, and we have not been able to select them because those students were awarded master degree. If those students were awarded master degree by coursework.
Thank you, sir.
This is right.
I hope that answers your question, Mr. Ram. There's another question that's directed to USP. I guess FNU would also be willing to answer this question. So the question reads, if your thesis focus does not fall under the ACR agriculture thematic areas, can you still apply for a master scholarship under ACR?
No, because there's it has to fall under the particular project, main project. So area, maybe make some discussion and then put and give justification if there is some variation on the project topics already given. But if one cannot make completely new, because all thesis topics are given based on the major project.
Thank you, Head of School. Dr. Bakare, Professor Ichi.
Yeah, I think you cannot apply. We are supposed to go through to that list of eligible topics for you to apply. Look at those topics, then you can develop your proposal on the list of topics.
Okay. There's another question. Sorry, before I jump into this question, anyone else has any question they would like to ask from the members that are present here? No? Tough crowd indeed. Jokes, everyone. Just jumping straight on to our next question. I have a degree in agribusiness and postgrad. I have switched to crops. Do you think I'm eligible, Mr. Oh, sorry, this is directed to me. Agribusiness and postgrad, and I've switched to crops. Do you think I'm eligible, Mr. Lawal? For that, I would need extra information before I can say whether you're eligible or not. I'm assuming when you said that you've done agribusiness and postgrad, this is together with agribusiness, you've done it here at USP, and if such, I would just need extra information from you. So if you can just drop me an email along with your ID, student ID, I can verify that for you. The second question that you asked, saying, is it possible for the husband and wife to both be eligible, since both you and your wife are interested with good GPAs? Yeah, I can answer the information via email once I have all the information that is needed, and I can verify that and answer your question, Mr. Robert. Hope that is okay.
But still, there is no problem that if both are having good GPA and they are fulfilling our requirement, both are entitled and both can apply.
Yeah. We have another question that's here. If no one else wants to ask any questions or raise their hands. So the question reads, does this scholarship support your family if there is a need to travel with your toddlers to the place of study? I'm going to repeat the question. This question is posed to both the two universities. So I'm going to request Professor Surendra and Professor Paul Ichi and Dr. Bakari if they can answer. The question reads, does this scholarship also support your family if there is a need to travel with your toddlers to the place of study?
But I think we, as far as I know, that we are giving also, what is that, dependent allowance. Am I okay? So I don't think there is any problem if SCI are giving dependent allowance. So according to, we will follow the dependent allowance according to our university regulations, procedural policy. If it comes, I don't think there is any problem.
Okay, I think yeah, there is a dependent allowance, but maybe Linda can clear this for us. We have definitely ruled out parents. Parents are not regarded as dependents, but are children not considered as dependents? Say, for example, the person is a single parent. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, if a student is not married or something like that, then in that case, there is no, even I know the few cases it has happened here.
Linda, is that the situation?
I think this is not really my responsibility to answer, but I think the universities have individual policies or guidelines on that dependent allowance.
Yeah.
But we have completely defined rules and procedure for policy and procedure where it defined that who is the dependent and who is not dependent. So we follow accordingly.
Yeah. Archibald, any update on? I know our policy was changed in agreement with the ACIR, but who is a dependent? Does a single parent qualify? I'm just saying that so that we know that the person is not married. So if it's a single parent with kids, does the person receive a dependent allowance?
I think I'll check with Punjab, Professor.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry. Hello, Bulavanaka.
Okay,
Yeah,
yes, yeah.
ACR. So that arrangement is contained within the contract between the Pacific Universities and ACR, in line, as Surendra has put it, with the university policy. So that would be dependent on what the university policy was on who is clarified as a dependent. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, we will definitely look at that. Coming from Australia, personally, I would regard the kids of a single parent as dependents. That is using the general Australian classifications. I'm not sure what was put in policy before I came into this office this year, but Pooja will clarify it. And once a person, or if you are applying to FNU, just let us know too. If you are married, I know that then there is, and you can prove it, then I know we will cover spouses, but single parent with kids is what I'm not sure about. We need to clarify. I need to check on that.
Thank you all so much for that very informative answer to that question. I hope that answers your question, Ms. Salanyata. Salanyata has another question, and I'll pass this question around to both the universities as well as to Dr. Linda. So the question reads, how can we create a thesis or a research proposal And if so, who can help me create one since I'm new to this?
Well, maybe I'll start answering that question, Joe, if that's okay.
Sure.
So there are multiple online briefing sessions. The next one coming up on the 11th of August is a research project showcase where the ACR project leaders will be presenting on the projects that are available. And then we'll have some Zoom breakout rooms where people can ask individual questions to the project leaders. But after that, I think it's on the 25th of August, we have an online session where University of the Sunshine Coast team will lead a session on how to develop that research intent that goes along with the application. So you should make sure that you register for both of those online sessions. I'll hand over now to the universities to answer to.
Maybe I'll start first. It's like we normally upload the list of eligible topics. If you go to FMU website or USP website, there's a list of eligible topics. So on that list of eligible topics, we've got potential supervisors. So when you get potential supervisors, they will guide you to write the proposal. Don't expect them to write the proposals for you. They will just guide you to write the proposal. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lin and Dr. Bakari, for that answer. We have another question that's from Ditong, and the question reads, does getting placement in any of the university provide a high likely chance of getting this award? So I'm assuming the question is, should they apply for a place in the university before applying for the scholarship?
Not necessarily. They can apply for the. It's not essentially to have a place in the university first, but they can apply for the scholarship, and either way possibly is. I think we have also opened that previously, that any students who had already our student, they have also applied for this, but they have to work on the project which is already given, or title of the projects. So this is one of the requirement, because the project is already given. So it's not guaranteed that even if the application has come up and then they are given the scholarship. So there is no harm in applying in advance also for admission, and also to get an idea that whether he and she is entitled for admission or not. This is what I will tell. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Surendra. Professor Ichi and Dr. Bakari.
Yeah, just like Professor Prasad said, yeah, securing the admission is it's an achievement. It's getting something out of the way, but it doesn't rank a candidate higher. We use clearly spelled out criteria, which are most of which are contained in the adverts in selecting the candidates for the awards. So if you do apply for the award, and we will definitely see that you can meet the requirements for our enrollment before we give you the award. So that is it. Getting the admission first is not going to confer any advantage on the candidate.
Thank you, Professor Ichi. I hope that answers your question, Dito. Just to answer the questions regarding the links for the scholarship, the upcoming sessions, Ms. Joy Hardman from the ACR main office, she's posted in the chat group the dates as well as the upcoming sessions that we will have. Just to guide everyone on that, we have different links for all of them. And as such, I'm just going to share my screen real quick. So here, for each of the sessions, we have clickable registration links where you can click and register for the next session. So this is the first one that we're having today, which is on the 28th. The next one is coming on the next Friday, the week after that, sorry, on the 11th of August. So if you're interested, So to join in the session and talk more about the projects with the project leaders, please feel free to click on the link and register yourself for the next sessions. For USP, we have the same thing in a table form, and we have the respective pages. Well, I think I've covered all the questions that's here on in the chat group. Just letting everyone know we still have our representatives from our current scholars that are here with us. If you have any questions you wish to direct to them with regards to their journey or the processes. I see a hand that is being raised. I'll give it now to Alumita for her to ask her question.
Just sorry, just out of I just want to understand out of curiosity in terms of the awards. How many awards were given out last year, or when was the last time an award was given out for this scholarship?
Thank you for that question. I will pass it now to the two universities for them to answer this question. We will go first with Dr. Bakare and Professor Ichi before we jump on to Professor Surendra Prasad.
I think I have to talk to Punja. I think for FNU, we've got about 6 awards, 4 master's scholarship and 2 for PhD student. But I need to verify with Punja David.
Thank you, sir. Just to reiterate the question, that it was a 2-part question. The first one was how many awards, and the second one was how often is the scholarship offered?
It's like every year that you advertise every year the scholarship, but I don't know if I don't know if they say, but it's like they normally offer the scholarship once per year. So this the intake for, it's like the applications for now for 2024.
Thank you, Dr. Bakare. Professor Surendra, would you like to take this question or do you want me to answer? Okay, I think he's busy. Yeah, just like Miss Joy said in the chat group, for both, we also offer it here at the University of South Pacific. It's offered annually, and as of last year, we did offer the scholarship as well. We had 2 PhDs and 4 masters.
Thank you.
Oh, good. Anyone else has any?
Sorry, Joe,
Yes.
just
Yep.
I just have one more clarification. I noticed in the USP advert, it says that the closing date is on the 18th, but then if you scroll it right down, it says on the 2nd of October. So which date is the correct one?
It's on the 18th. Apologies for that.
It's on the 18th, yeah?
Yeah, it
All
closes
right,
on the
thank
18th.
you.
Correct it, Joe, correct and put it again.
Thanks.
Oh, good.
Sorry, can I just have one more question directed to USP?
Sure.
In terms of Masters of Coursework, I've noticed in one of the conversation that Masters of Coursework they don't actually get eligible for research. So in terms of GPA or honors, if your master's is 50 research, 50 coursework, how does that sit in terms of eligibility? I'm asking because some of the masters that I did was a bit of a mixture of research as well as coursework. So I'm trying to understand how that sits in terms of eligibility.
Yeah, for FNU, it's like you want to apply for PhD, eh?
Sorry, could you say that again?
Then you want to apply for PhD.
Mm.
Yeah, so it's like for you to be eligible for admission, it's like you're supposed to have a GPA of 4. That is for master's coursework. And sometimes also look at the research that you've done. Did you write a
Yeah.
thesis in master's? So also look at the quality of research that you're doing.
Mm,
And postgraduate committee will make a decision.
I see. Okay.
Thank you. Any other question? There's a question by Viliami in the chat group. It's directed to both the universities again. So the question reads, what areas of the scholarship application has not been met properly by last applicants? Sorry, Professor Surendra, you are muted.
Difficult to met. Remember right now that which area has not been met, but we don't have huge number of scholarship, but of course our priority area is soil science, etc. That's what we have been considering mostly.
Thank you, Professor Surendra. Professor Paul Ichi, do you want to say something?
I know which areas have been well covered. Forestry and fisheries have been well covered. Animal health has also been relatively well covered. But what I want to tell the candidates is that we are sort of looking for the best new researcher to come out of the Pacific. So if you happen to have a very high sort of an extremely good qualification or potential, even in the areas that we have covered, we will still consider it. So I think the main focus is on potential, abilities, academic quality, more than just simply trying to cover all the areas in terms of which one is in short supply or which is not in short supply. It's good that the two universities are offering these awards. So we tend to complement one another, whatever area that FNU is not able to cover, USB is, and vice versa. So, but I encourage everybody to pick your topic. That is the topic that that is on the list with principal project leaders being from Australia. The good thing with this award too is that the project leader in Australia is also your co-supervisor, is going to be your co-supervisor. So you are not going to just be supervised by researchers based here in the Pacific. That is why you are seeing some of the awardees going overseas, going to Australia to excellent labs and research facilities to look at, or to even do some of the work, or simply to look at the facilities there. So I would say all the areas are potentials for getting an award. It just depends on your quality, your academic excellence. That is what we will first consider. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Paul Ichi. I'll give Dr. Linda for her to answer this question as well, please.
Sorry, what did you want me to answer, Joe?
Sorry, let me just read the question again.
Sorry.
So the question is, what areas of the scholarship application has not been properly met by past applicants?
I think both Professor Surendra and Professor Iji have answered that question a bit, and that's purely a Pacific University response to that question.
Thank you, madam. I know that everyone is so hungry. They want to go for a break. Don't worry, we're about to wrap it up. We just have one last question from Matilita. The question is directed to Professor Ichi. So it's saying all applications should be sent to Dr. Bakare. Should all applications be sent to Dr. Bakare?
No, I was just typing a reply to that, but I can answer it. No, contact Dr. Bakare and he will link you to the most suitable potential supervisor. That's what you need to do. I would advise all candidates, please talk to your potential supervisor at both USP and FNU before you submit an application. For us at FNU, if you don't talk to anybody at all and you submit an application, your chance of getting a scholarship is going to be very low. I think what we immediately pick up is no supervisor has been identified. So please, as much as possible, speak to Dr. Bakare to point you to a potential supervisor with whom you will prepare your application. And that person would support your application too, because I think there is a requirement to be supported for your application to be supported by your potential supervisor. So please do that. But don't send all applications to Dr. Bakare. He will only link you to the most suitable supervisor. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Professor Ichi. Again, like I said, I'm sure everyone is very hungry, wants to take a break. So we'll just end today's Q&A session with one last question. My apologies. This is one last question, and I'll direct this again to both the two universities. So the question is, so if I know if I'm eligible, what is my next step now? Because I don't know where to move on from here. The question is, if I know that I'm eligible, what is my next step?
Yeah, I think, Joe, I have responded to Salah, who asked that question, because he had, I think, identified FNU from the start, if I'm not mistaken. The best, that was why I gave the answer to contact Dr. Bakare at FNU to be guided as what the next step should be. But in general, it will be you at USP. If a candidate is still totally lost after this briefing, Q&A, I would suggest the person contacts you, Josephata at USP, or Dr. Bakare or Puja. If you go to the adverts from the two universities, the contact person is indicated. Please send an email to the person. Now I have heard from the session, the Q&A session, and I want to move ahead. How do I move ahead? Just send an email to those people and you'll be advised and guided as what to do next.
Thank you, Professor Ichi. I guess the same applies to USP as well. I know that you all are very hungry and very anxious to leave. I thank you all once again for availing yourselves to be present here today for this very first Q&A session for this opening round of the applications. Yeah, I guess much has been said today. You've all been overwhelmed with so much information, not only from the presenters, but as well as our students. I'd like to take this time to thank you all so much again for availing yourselves to be here today. We'll just go around one last time for the members, the presenters, the donors that are here. If they have any last words before we call it a day. I guess we'll start from our donor first before we leave. Ms. Joy Hardman.
Yeah. Pula Vinaka, everyone. Joe, I need to say thank you very much for a beautiful chairing of this meeting. It was very terrific. Also, I want to thank all the speakers from the university, Professor Siraj, Surendra Prasad, Paul Adichie, Dr. Bakari, the lovely Lakita and Sumlesh, and Dr. Linda. It was really terrific. And for everyone who is online, thank you so much for coming forward with your questions, because this is very good. I do have one point. On the two respective websites, there are some documents there. I know that there are some, there's a Q&A, there are some, please can you read those very carefully, because people have put a lot of work into them, and please can you read them before you contact Joe and Archie and Pooja, because I am aware that they will be very interested to help you, but the best way that you can help them is by being informed before you contact them. I am aware that they have a large workload. I wish you all the best for your applications.
Thank you, Joy. Professor Paul Ichi and Dr. Bakari, any last words?
Yeah, it has been a pleasure in meeting all of you, the old faces from Australia and USP, and the new faces from across the Pacific. We look forward to receiving your applications at FAU, and we look forward to you enrolling with us. You will definitely get all the support you need. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Professor Surendra Prasad.
Of course, thank you very much for organizing this session very nicely. And I would like to express my sincere thanks on behalf of university and on behalf of my Vice Chancellor and Research Office. Of course, Director Research is not here, Sushil Kumar. Me only am looking up at this session. So I would like to welcome all the potential students, and if there is anything, they can write me directly, or they can also contact any of my potential supervisor, which is mentioned in, which can be obtained, the name of the potential supervisor can be obtained from Josevata, and for any other communication, you are either direct to potential supervisor or to me. We'll always try to help you, and looking forward to welcome you in USP, or especially particularly in my school. Thank you. All the best.
Thank you so much, Professor Surendra. Dr. Linda West.
I'd also like to thank everyone for joining today, and a huge congratulations to Joe on running this session. It's no mean feat to run one of these sessions. So well done, Joe. And thank you very much to the university and ACR for joining. And it's wonderful to see so many people with so many diverse questions. I think it's been a very open session, this one. Often people are quite shy to ask questions, but this has been a really good session where people have lots of very interesting questions for the universities. And I'm wishing you all good luck and looking forward to the next session with the project leaders. Please do register. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Linda. Well, with those few words, I don't think I can add on to anything. Thank you all so much for availing yourselves to be present here to give one last time. A big vinavakalevu, fafetai to fasoifua. And last but not least, I just want to remind everyone, this session is recorded. So a recorded session of this will be posted up, and the links will be on the two university website. And if you missed the session, or you know people that are interested in the scholarship and they're not here today, please feel pass on this news to them. They can watch the recordings on the links that will be provided. So with those few words, thank you so much for availing yourselves to be here, and have a great weekend ahead.
Thank you. Have a nice afternoon. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.